Hi, I'm going to show you how to install my eWamp package, which is a zero install package. Sounds like an oxymoron there. Uh, in 5 steps or less. And the eWamp package is a Windows web development package, consists of Apache, PHP, Perl, and MySQL. You probably heard the buzzword LAMP. The only difference is the L stands for Linux. You may have even heard of MAMP, M standing for Macintosh. So let's get started. And you want to troll on over to the URL www.developergeekresources.com. And the first thing that you're going to want to do is go download the package, and you can do that by clicking on this hyperlink here, eWamp Web Development Server at SourceForge, which is where I maintain the software. And then you just click on the download here, eWamp 097_32.zip. And you'll need a high-speed connection because it's about a 65 meg file. So let's go back now, and as far as installing eWamp, let's take a look at the install instructions and we'll walk through them. Okay, so what you're going to need to do is under your root drive you're going to create a directory named webroot. So let's head off and do that. Whoops. And we're just going to do it under the C drive. New directory, webroot, lowercase. And let's go back to the instructions now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to copy that file that you should have downloaded. Now I'm up to version 097, so I need to make a correction to this. My apologies. And so we're going to move the file that you've downloaded to the webroot directory, and we're going to unzip it there. So let's go and do that. I've stashed mine in a directory named temp. So let's just grab that, and we'll just Control X to cut it. And we'll just paste it right here. And you should have a zip program to be able to deal with this. And I'm using 7-zip. And I'm going to say extract here. And it's a pretty good size package, so it's going to take a minute or two. I'm going to pause the video so you don't have to. Actually, no, we'll just let it kind of go through and do its thing. You can see kind of real time what's happening. Now once we've unzipped it, it's just a function of creating 2 Windows services, and that's really all there is to it. And actually I'm going to pause the video until it's done. Okay, we're done with the unzipping. And let's head back. And now if you're installing the package to a drive other than C, you're going to want to do steps 3 and 4, which is just changing a couple of references. But since we're installing it to the C drive, we can proceed on to step 5. So a 3-step procedure. So we need to open up the command prompt and change to the directory /webroot, and we're going to run this batch file called sc.batch, which is going to install the 2 web services for Apache and MySQL. Now if you're running on Windows 7 or Windows 8, you're going to want to open up the command prompt as the administrator. And if you're running XP, you shouldn't have to do that. So let's do that. And we're just going to change directory to webroot. And you can see there's a directory in there called sc.bat. And we're just going to type in sc.bat and run that, and that's going to start That's going to install Apache, and it's going to install and start up both Apache and the MySQL service. And it's not really necessary to do that because we've got visual confirmation, but let's just go in and verify that those services have been running. And what I'm doing is I'm typing in the word services in the start menu, and that'll open up for us the Windows dialog box. I can click on services here. Let's open that up so we can see it a little better. And you can see Apache, the service has been installed and started. And if we go down to MySQL, you can see that started as well. So essentially what we've done now is we've installed a web development server in 3 steps to the C drive, and now what we need to do is a little post-installation testing. Okay, for the post-installation testing, we're going to test Apache, and we're going to test the PHP is going, and we're going to test Perl CGI. So I'm just going to grab the URL straight out of here, Control-C to copy it. I'm going to open up a new browser tab here. I'm going to paste the URL in, and there we get the famous "it works," which tells us that Apache's working fine. Now let's go back and test PHP, and this should echo back a bunch of the variables for the PHP environment, which it does. So PHP is installed correctly. And then finally, let's test out Perl CGI. There you go. There you have it. In 3 steps, we've installed and configured a Apache web server environment on Windows. And now you're ready to start web development. Take care. Bye.